that has been spoken about, with regards to AI, are technologies, some emerging, but the adoption side of it is actually the issue. If you produce technology that nobody can use or nobody wants to use, then it becomes a white elephant. So what I'm going to try and go through quickly is kind of how we thought about it at GoTrust, right? What part does an entrepreneur play in making sure that the market develops for these technologies? So what does AI give us, right? Once again, I'm going to go quickly because we've heard a lot, right? We are really talking about velocity, validity, and value in healthcare. So the velocity talks about, drastically reducing, time to treatment, workflow bottlenecks, reducing those. Validity, focusing on accuracy with regards to our diagnostics, things like that, and then reducing medical errors. And then the value is really where it all comes together, right? Because you heard the phrase follow the money, right? If something isn't valuable, if you can't make money in it, if you just keep losing, resources to it, then more or less, after a while, this thing is not going to succeed. So we've also heard a lot of the opportunity areas, right? These things are things that we already see, right? We've heard about genomic data being available, but how do you turn it into something that is really pervasive? It will help with preventative, healthcare, right? AI, will give it screening, early detection, being able to predict that, what an individual needs to watch out for in terms of, watching their health. There's a lot of conversation on primary health care, non-communicable precision treatment. We are moving towards a world where folks will be able to target specifically to the person, what the treatment is for them, right? So as an entrepreneur, you see all these things and you see products that need maybe marketing or development, in that sense. Because the capacity alone, the ability to, have this technology is not going to create the health impact, right? We've heard from, different stakeholders, right? By the end of the day, we all want these technologies to essentially pervade through our society and to actually help us versus, being just talked about. So can AI insights be responsibly delivered, trusted, and converted into value? So the answer, I believe, is yes, because entrepreneurship, slash businesses, slash private sector, is part of the translation mechanism, right? This is part of how ideas, innovations make their way into our societies, right? So innovation is what makes it possible. Having it also offline, right? So if the lights go off, you can still, the solution can still work, right? Building those kinds of platforms that are integrated with, other, databases, government databases, etc. A lot of it, as we know, in terms of our readiness, which once again we heard about is that there's a lot of fragmented data all over the place, right? So you need to identify where those things are and put them together. Right? So we are also trying to introduce certain features that maybe are not as common now, like health data portability, right? Being able as a person, wherever you go to the hospital or clinic or pharmacy or wherever, that you can actually track all that, right? But that also means that with regards to data privacy, you need to have some element of control over your own data. Today, we assume that health data belongs to like the hospital or the government or so, but your personal health data is actually yours, right? So we're trying to get to a world where you actually have those tools to determine who sees the data, right? Now, we're seeing that it's not that in terms of the consumers or folks that would pay for data like that, it's not just hospitals. Right? Yes, healthcare providers would benefit, but you have different parties that would benefit. Insurance companies, for example, need health data for, customer profiling and the likes, right? Pharmaceutical companies want to know, which drugs that they're producing are, moving through the chain, what is being prescribed, etc., right? The government agencies, research organizations that are, doing population-wide research, and they need to get some insights, right? All the way into even the retail space, trying to figure out, what products, mental products are being sold, right? So it's not just one area. There's so many non-health areas that can benefit from, good health data. So how do you fund things like this, right? Like I said, follow the money, right? What will an investor pay, a startup to do, right? What would they expect, right? So a lot of times, most investors will say, oh, you have to have like 3 years of experience, financial statements, all the above. But this is so new that nobody has that track record yet, and especially in this part of the world, right? Giant data centers right now, right? And especially if you're talking about startups, those are the kinds of solutions, those are the kinds of infrastructure that we need, right? Obviously, governance is important, right? We need to follow things like the Data Privacy Act and everything that the policies, all the policies that have been put in place. But then at the end of it, you have to be able to scale these things, right? You can't just build something that it only works for one facility, right? You have to think fast. They only invest in things that they know can be replicated with volume, right? So those are, quite a few of the factors that you have to think about when you are trying to, market something like this. So, to sort of conclude, this is something that was said, I think, yesterday and today, that we have to think about our environment, Africa, Ghana, right, as not just a place where folks come to dump solutions or, for them to make it, for us to consume, right? We are an innovation market, right? The way we solve problems here is very different from outside, right? We, repurpose things. We, use one thing that was built for this, for that, right? And it's part of that process of figuring out where the innovation should be going. The factors are good, there are, lots of problems. Digital adoption is growing, right? We have opportunities to fashion things locally, right? And at the end of the day, Ghana's problems are probably the same as Sierra Leone's problems, right? So you get where I'm going, that these things probably could be scaled, right? So from an entrepreneurial point of view, this is a good problem. This is a good place to be, right? And I think, the other stakeholders, the government, policy, all that, should not forget that this is actually what drives market adoption, right? And in these kinds of conversations, we should always involve the private sector as well. Okay? So just to close, we are trying to move from innovation to sustainable impact, right? And it's a process. It's not just, build it and they will come. a lot of things need to be socialized, and a lot of stakeholders need to work together to make this happen. So thanks for your attention. Hope this was helpful to you. Thank you.
Because innovation is so critical, I am cognizant of the fact that people want to go for the snack break, and then we move straight into the power of presentations. But innovation is so critical. So yesterday, the secondary school people said that they were going to ask questions, but we didn't give them the opportunity. Did anybody from the secondary schools ask any questions today? If not, we are talking about innovation. So one question from a secondary school participant to you. So, Ola, Sunrise, Mauli School. Good, Mauli School. This way. I believe we all know where we had the breakfast, the snack break yesterday. So just move straight to that place. And after that, as I mentioned, there are the exhibits, and we'll direct you. If you just go down from that slope, that building there is where the exhibits are showing. And I want you to pass there and see what is going on. Yeah.
Okay, so please, thank you very much. My question is not
Your name?
Owusu Wisdom.
Owusu Wisdom?
Yes.
Okay.
My question is not really to him, it's to Mr. Ben from Ministry of Health. Yes, so please, during your presentation, you were trying to bring an idea of integrating AI tools that will help in hospitals operations, such as bed management and the others. So please, I believe that before any idea comes out, there are visions that are behind it. So I want to ask maybe if he has, I want to know the visions he has behind this, because I'm really buying the idea. Thank you.
Any other one more question before?
From where suggest?
Yeah. Hello. Okay, Ben, you can please. Thanks.
The question, you want to know the idea behind the bed management, right?
Yes, please. So you were like an AI tool that can, before someone gets to the hospital, they can tell that maybe the hospital is full, so there'll be a referral, or maybe the beds are full, so something like that. So I want to know like the vision behind it.
Okay, so the vision behind it is that I think you've heard of low bed syndrome. And if a relative of you have been referred before, you've also heard of the difficulties and challenges patients go through with respect to referral. And so AI, we all know, is an enabler. And there are some challenges that operationally can be filtered out if there is an AI. For instance, if you are at a hospital and you are referring a patient to, let's say, the teaching hospital, you will need to do the referral notes, contact somebody at that referral facility. Most of the times, it's on that personal basis. But if it's an AI, there is a tool with an AI embedded that will be able to, as it were, document the referral process and even know where the higher facility there is a vacant bed. That AI can inform whoever is referring that, let's say, Broad Teaching Hospital, there is a bed, or I'm using as an assumption, or another hospital, there is no bed. The AI will even route the referral straight to Broad Teaching Hospital. Then the ambulance that is doing the referral, there is that integration of tools. So they also know from their situation room that this particular patient is being rooted because that is where the specialist who is going to take care of that client is. And that is where the patient can get the best of care. That is the idea.
Thank you very much.
So I just wanted to add something to that. So you saw the way he was describing what he wants to happen. You know, things should alert this person and this. From our point of view, right, you would like, you know, just like you go to, you know, online and say, you know, AI, show me how to do this or write my presentation for me. That's the end product, right? But there's a lot of work that has to go on before that happens. There's the work of essentially collecting the business requirements. Maybe the way he wants to do it is not exactly the most efficient way. Maybe there's another more efficient way. There's also the software and the you know, infrastructure behind it, right? So it's good to have quote unquote aspirations, but remember that for all the results that you get with, you know, AI tools, there's a lot of trial and error that has to happen, right? There's a lot of pilots that folks do, test it out, you know, sandboxes, all that, right, to make something like that happen. Right? So hopefully that helps you to understand, you know, how these things are possible.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks, Lee. There are some video recordings that we'll play after we come back from the breakout sessions. But at this juncture, I just want to acknowledge some of our sponsors. ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development, it doesn't need mentioning because you know what they have done. I also want to appreciate our partners, the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Responsible AI Lab, Warbridge from the USA, headed by Rachel, who's been very supportive. We've also had collaboration with the University of Ghana, including the College of Health Sciences and the School of Public Health. The Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Communications, Digital Technology and Innovations have been very, very helpful in the thinking and the support around this. We also have sponsorship from 4 systems, and you can see them over there. There's Sapientia Profunda. We also had support from UNICEF, WHO. As I said, some of these are not just money, but material support and sometimes technical support in terms of the thinking around how this conference should go. We also appreciate the National Vaccine Institute. They have been very strong in leading the aspects of pharma and vaccine development and the thinking around how we organize it, especially the CEO of the National Vaccine Institute, Dr. Soji Sojitete, has had personal discussions with us as a team and helping us in the thinking around what we are doing. A brilliant gentleman. I thank God for his life. We also had support from the Foreign and Commonwealth Development Office, formerly called DFID. So Dominic Farrell was very, very useful in some of the discussions and linked us to people who supported us. The Bui Power Authority also gave us some support. Axon Information System yesterday, the one who talked about chewing stick to to toothbrush, so they also provided us some support. And then Belaqua gave us water, so all the water you are drinking from Belaqua was given freely to us to support the organization of the conference. I would not be able to mention everybody, but when we come back, I will mention the rest of the teams that I've not mentioned here. Not to forget, Dr. Koshi Dumont from the University of Missouri supported a lot of things that we are seeing today in these presentations. So we shall move from here straight and go for the parallel sessions. If you are not sure about where you'll be going to, I don't know whether we can project the various groups so that people can see. So IT, if it is possible, but I don't want you to be waiting for that at the expense of collapsing. So if you grab your little chops, you can just walk down to the other place, see, and the rooms have been labeled. I said that there are two groups that would be here. Those that are looking at AI-enabled health interventions and AI-enabled health system improvement will be in this place, together with those that are looking at data-driven AI for health and digital innovations for health. Those two groups will be in this auditorium. And then we have those who are looking at the behavioral aspect and qualitative studies related to AI in health, and those who are looking at how we deploy AI and machine learning for health. They are going to be in the building that is down where we are going to have the meal. We call it the IAC conference room, but there are directions that will take you there. And then there is another group that is the use of AI in healthcare delivery and cross-cutting AI issues in healthcare. And they will also be in that building, but they are in a place called the council chamber. So from here, please grab your drink or something and fruits, and then let's move to our various places for this presentation. We shall reconvene here at, it's already 12, 12:30, so we'll be meeting here at 2:30. And then we will do the innovation showcase, and then we'll be heading towards the closing ceremony. But as we keep saying, the innovation showcase is something you cannot miss. I mean, if you come for this conference and you were not part of that, then something has happened. So thank you all very much, and I don't know whether our Chief Nana Bafo, is there any other announcements? Are we free to go? Yes. Thank you very much. Okay, so we may proceed on. Give yourself a hand as you go.
Hello, Dr. Aisha. Hello. I'm fine, and yourself? Yeah. Hello. see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
Yeah.
Came to answer.
Yeah.
We were able to make it yesterday. Yesterday when you came.
No, I'm not coming. Right. Are you here yesterday? So, that's fine. You have some presentation.
Really? We are presenting on.
At the public perception.
Oh, okay. We are doing a research on it. We are the only one who are part of it.
Oh, yeah, part of it.
Oh, wow.
So,
That's wonderful. Good, it's good. At least I know I'm not the only one.
no small pressure was feeling good.
So we are actually presenting a project of ours. Yeah. Yeah. It's a management system that is AI context that health systems according to how they can base financial requirements and our NHIS coverage. This is where you know how to really do documentation. Report for it. Make sense of the investigations. Try to point out. So it's like a whole an idea so that they don't allow us to. We want to be part of the innovation section, not just an abstract. An abstract is like research, but what you are doing is like yeah.
Alright, then I wish you the very best too. Yeah. Alright, then see you. Hello.
At least with the innovations that there was registration.
I don't think there's
So you just
I don't know how they structured it. I'm not an organizer, so I don't even know how.
I think it's a very nice initiative, but I didn't really get so much. I just really found out. And I'm well, I have visions. There is a section
I'm
about
personally into innovation myself. So probably I don't know the organization. Because I'm also going to
really
I'm doing more of an abstract. Mine's more of a
do you happen to by chance know the people who organize this one as well?
I don't really organize. I'm
Really? I was also really interested. That's fine. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sure.
So basically, like, I know you're a student. So like, I don't know school.
Yeah, I'm
sorry, I asked if you were a student. I know you can't even read your face.
I'm Joshua. You're moving with the team, man.
I wish we could take a picture.
Where outside? AI outside. Okay, or what's my boss? Okay, sure. So let him be out.